Christine, how much does it hurt the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out?
It is devastating to the WNBA when Caitlin Clark is out.
I know a lot of us were expecting some sort of dip since Caitlin Clark has been out with injury, but I don't think all of us were expecting the entire viewership of the entire WNBA to be down. And this tweet from Christine Brennan really stuck out to me. She said one player gets injured and more than half the TV audience for the entire league disappears. Has any other athlete ever had that kind of impact on a sport? Golf without Tiger definitely dropped precipitously on occasion.
Without Caitlin Clark on board, the WNBA is in a terrible financial position and cannot keep their entire empire from collapsing. The field demonstrating once more how little this league has learned about safeguarding the lone athlete who helped them become well known after being obscure. This is a tale of a league that keeps hurting itself when its finest player is out, and how their steadfast refusal to accept reality costs them millions of dollars, many bucks each day.
And the truth is the truth, and the data is there. And what we saw when Caitlin was out the last time, the 5 games that she missed earlier in the season, the WNBA's viewership dropped more than 50%.
Facts are as elusive as sold-out WNBA games in this age of stage drama and social media controversy. Caitlin. When Clark's quad injury kept him out of action on June 24th, the league's obvious reliance on a single player emerged. She is presently sidelined for an undetermined period of time. Therefore, we are witnessing a repeat of what transpired, of time as a result of a groin injury.
Quad injury jumped to her groin likely because of compensation. But the thing that you have to be careful of is if, say, you try to rush her back from this injury as well, then you're getting into this territory where a very serious injury can happen. That is what the Indiana Fever, that is what Caitlin need to avoid the best that they possibly can. So if it means that Caitlin is out for 3 weeks, if it means that she is out all the way through All-Star, then so be it.
From an average of 1.8181 million, nationally televised WNBA viewership fell by an astounding 55%. When Indiana Fever games saw a 53% decline in viewership, and Clark played to just 847,000 without her. But this is where the story starts to turn completely absurd. And by absurd, we mean inevitably disastrous for a league that is unwilling to acknowledge its errors.
Went down. The WNBA ratings have dropped over 55% across the board.
Hey, guess what, guys?
League is Caitlin Clark.
The league is Caitlin Clark. She is the WNBA, guys.
Sidelined with a left quad strain May 24th. National TV viewership has plunged since then 55%. Before the injury, the Fever, her team, were averaging 1.81 million viewers, almost 2 million. Since her injury, fewer than 850,000.
As Caitlin Clark was busy doing what she does best, packing arenas and breaking records for television ratings, despite generating unprecedented profits, the WNBA was preoccupied with what they do best and took no action to safeguard their greatest asset. Letting opponents target you while lecturing everyone about basketball plays seems reasonable. A player who produces 26.5% of the WNBA's total revenue without facing any repercussions, what's intriguing? And when I say fascinating, I mean angry because the same situations occurred before. However, the league is absent to be able to move past its past. The WNBA has already suffered after its top player was hurt, a decline in both income and audience that it's similar to witnessing someone touch a hot stove, get burned, and then reach for, stating they were unaware that it was risky.
News is alarming for the league, and it's alarming for the league because this is such a crucial year for the WNBA. At the end of this season, the WNBA will go into CBA negotiations. If negotiations go well, then every single player in the WNBA has a much better chance of making so much more in their next contract. And that's one thing when you start thinking about how many people stopped watching when Caitlin Clark got injured. A lot of people stopped watching because they are boycotting the WNBA. They don't want to give viewership to any other teams or any other players, whether they like other players on the team or not, because of how the media and the league itself has handled Caitlin Clark and how they have treated her fate.
If you find this entertaining, please subscribe. The financial catastrophe came suddenly and brutally. Tickets for Fever games are now 71% less expensive, with some going from $860 to $250, the sharp drop in the mean. The $1,370 to $80 price range of tickets to all of Clark's missing games reveals a lot about who really draws interest in this league. Road games were rescheduled to meet the demand for Clark tickets. Larger venues are currently having trouble filling arenas that would have been full if she had been there. One of the most eagerly awaited games of the season is the Los Angeles Sparks versus Fever rematch. Down to $95 from $210 with 2.25 million viewers. This game was among the most watched WNBA games ever. However, without Clark, it turns into simply another dull game for casual viewers.
What's really concerning about this is the fact that we are only a month into the regular season and Caitlin Clark has already been out with 2 injuries. With the first one being her having to miss some time with a left quad strain. Now, of course, this is concerning because if you're already on your second injury, you don't want to be that player that is always hurt. Cough, cough, Embiid, cough, cough, Anthony Davis. So I really do hope that the Fever really sits her out right now for a while, only because you don't want her to have more long-term injuries and be more prone.
One of the most outspoken critics of the WNBA's management is seasoned sports writer Christine Brennan. Of its best player to honor game, Caitlin Clark and the revolution in women's sports, her upcoming book aims to reveal the league's defects. Following another instance of opponents singling out Clark, Brennan stated, the WNBA continues to fail to match the occasion. This is what viewers see when more people watch than ever before. That Brennan's criticism is straightforward and succinct. According to league statistics, Clark alone attracts more than half of the league's television viewers. However, they continue to give her cheap hits and severe fouls, which are only intended to scare her. Their best player, it's similar to witnessing a restaurant owner permit patrons to ridicule the chef, who is the sole draw for clients. Best wishes to the WNBA is becoming into a dependable and bothersome habit. Opponents frequently foul Clark, who don't seem to be as engaged in playing basketball as they are in making remarks. IT was the Phoenix Mercury. 4 or 5 of Clark's 30 egregious fouls in 2026, accounting for 80% of the league's total. She is chastised for being excessively. When she reacts to the physical play, she becomes combative. She is chastised for being too silent when she doesn't reply. Sensitive. The absence of a winner is a situation that the league is hesitant to address. That in the interim, the entire WNBA ecology is still experiencing financial ruin, not just a Fever. The league was already anticipated to suffer a $50 million loss this year. Even with Clark's rise in popularity, those losses are increasing at an frightening pace when she isn't performing, with attendance numbers going back to what they were before Clark. Product sales stagnate and television ratings decline. Tiger had a significant impact on men's golf, and after his departure, the ratings were impacted, albeit not much. Additionally, Michael Jordan's absence could result in 5 percentage points or something. Not at all like this. You have the ability to present a compelling argument, and I will do so, and I believe that no athlete is more significant than any other. Caitlin Clark is more important to the WNBA than he or she is to their sport, tour, or circuit. The fact that this entire catastrophe was entirely avoidable is its worst feature. When Clark first began to play, as a modest rookie, she often commended her colleagues to divert focus away from herself. For a 22-year-old, she responded to criticism with incredible poise and maturity. The league had the opportunity to accept her, keep her safe, and leverage her fame to improve the game as a whole. Rather, they permitted envy and small time politics to ruin what ought to have been a women's basketball celebration, in addition to TV ratings and ticket sales. The consequences of a Clark's injury are extensive. Millions of dollars were committed by corporate sponsors. However, many now doubt the logic of their choices in light of the Clark-driven evolution. This circumstance highlights a serious issue with the WNBA's self-dash portrayal. It appears that the league has been caught between wanting to be regarded as a legitimate professional basketball business and accepting a little manufactured drama that might stimulate social media. You can't have both of them. Professional leagues safeguard there. Stars while preserving the competition's fairness. Drama groups in high school attempt to gain attention by causing controversy. Man, I have no idea where to start, and I'm hoping Caitlin Clark is doing well. Please let me know when this injury occurred. Even occurred, dude. So let's take this seriously. She is injured in her quadriceps. Remember, Caitlin Clark had not overlooked a game when she was in college at the age of 18 or so, or since she was about 19. She now has a groin injury. Caitlin Clark's performance over the past 3 games was the worst we've ever seen. Let's take this seriously. In the last 3 threes, she's like 1 for 20. She had never shot the ball like this. That is what I will say. Basketball players that are female, as previously said, there is a glaring and unpleasant disparity with other professionals. Leagues for sports. What if the NBA allowed athletes to pursue their goals while maintaining that the sport was only competitive? LeBron's.
Man, congratulations to the WNBA. Your ratings are going to drop by 55 to 60% once again. I believe the WNBA has successfully broken Caitlin Clark.